Now, I talked about Miss Marvel, and I talked about Ronin/Echo, and I've talked about Red Tornado. Now it's time to talk about a really obscure character. A character that literally almost nobody that I know even knew existed, but yet they know Miss Marvel. Well, it's because of this guy that Carol Danvers became Miss Marvel. I, of course, am talking about Mar-veel, the Kree alien captain who came to Earth planning to conquer it. And instead, he fell in love with humanity. This is actually the Marvel Essential that I'm getting. Looks awesome. And in case you're confused, Mar-veel had two children. A daughter, who's now the current Captain Marvel, and a son, Genis-Vell, who was Captain Marvel, then he became Proton of the Thunderbolts, and he sacrificed himself, so he's pretty much dead. Mar-veel pretty much died. At some point, I think he got killed by Thanos, or he got killed by another character. But he died, and he supposedly came back during Secret Invasion, only to reveal that it was actually a Skrull pretending to be Captain Marvel. So it's confirmed that Mar-veel is pretty much dead, and so is Genis-Vell. And that Mar-veel's daughter is the new Captain Marvel. She was originally Quasar, another galactic defender, but then she became Captain Marvel. And they haven't really used her very much in the comics, at least from my understanding. You know, it doesn't look like she's being used much. Which is kind of the curse of the Mar-vels, is that they're not really they're very obscure characters that aren't really used much. And you'll notice all of them are wearing these wristbands. Those are the Naga bands. The Naga bands are the source of their power. It gives them strength and durability and allows them to shoot, energy projection. Now, when Captain Marvel first debuted, all he had was enhanced durability, super strength, or at least like slight super strength, and he could fly. That was about it. And he fell in love with humanity. He didn't think that the Kree should take over Earth to fight the Skrulls. And so he ended up rebelling against, the supreme being, the supreme mind of the Kree Empire. And he ended up being banished to Earth. However, he was one of Earth's many great heroes, because he fought people like Nitro, and he fought Thanos. I think he even joined in the battle against Galactus at some point. So Captain Marvel is he's unfortunately a character that's very obscured in comic book lore. Not a lot of people know about him, and people that look at him, they're like, who the hell is he? Well, that's why I'm making this video, because damn it, I feel Mar-veel needs to get, his recognition. Because without him, kind of sorta without him, we wouldn't have Nova, we wouldn't have Miss Marvel, we wouldn't really per se, kind of sorta, have a lot of the cool like intergalactic heroes and have a lot of cool villains to face. Captain Marvel, one of his first enemies was Ronin the Accuser, who's a fabled Fantastic Four enemy of the Kree. He's a Kree accuser who's fought the Fantastic Four numerous times. He was one of Captain Marvel's first enemies. It's crazy how with characters like Captain Marvel, they're obscured in pop culture. And that's why I do these videos. I know I've beaten you guys over the head by saying this, but I'm going to keep saying it 1,000 times over. Characters like these need to be presented to the public in some way, shape, or form, because they're very great and interesting characters, and it's a shame that they're very obscured. But I'm getting way off topic and getting too passionate. And pretty much when he was fighting the Incredible Hulk one time, and in the fight with the Hulk, Rick Jones happened to come along and calm the Hulk. Well, Rick Jones, we all know about Rick Jones. He's been a partner to Captain America, to the Hulk, to the Avengers. You ever notice how Rick Jones is just literally, just all up in every superhero in the Marvel Universe's ass? I've noticed that. And he became a sidekick for Captain Marvel. As a matter of fact, he was literally the embodiment of Captain Marvel's spirit. Because Captain Marvel got trapped in the Naga bands, and Rick Jones would wear the Naga bands underneath, his jacket or whatever, and Captain Marvel would be able to speak to him kind of like in an astral spirit form, kind of like with Firestorm and Brave and the Bold. And whenever trouble arose, Jones would actually clang the Naga bands together, and this interdimensional rift thing would happen, and Captain Marvel would take his place, and Rick Jones would be in kind of like this astral phantom inspired zone type deal. And when Captain Marvel Captain Marvel would clang the Naga bands again, and then Rick Jones would be back in his place. And Rick Jones did it for Genus Vell. And Rick Jones of course has become A-bomb, so he can't do it for the new Captain Marvel. She can actually activate her powers all on her own. Genus Vell kind of had the same problem as his father. And so it's just, I don't think that there's really much that can go on with Captain Marvel, because they don't really write much about Captain Marvel. Other than the fact that he was a Kree captain who came to Earth scouting to see if Earth would be a great, planet hold to add to the Kree Empire, and he ended up rebelling because he found us, us Earth people very curious, and he liked our ways. He thought that we were a very strange but interesting culture. And he even enjoyed living among us. And, being a hero. And all this stuff. So, when you see this man, or his son, or his daughter, just remember, these are the guys and girls that kind of made the Kree become less hostile and totalitarian and whatnot. And these are also the same people that gave the Fantastic Four Ronan the Accuser, gave Miss Marvel her powers. Now, I know that that's predominantly the Kree, but at the same time, Captain Marvel is considered a Kree, so by parallel, Captain Marvel